Okay, so far we have got the list of all the blog posts, and I think we need to customize this a little bit. So let's get back to our code. As you can see that I'm using the code as 600 by 314. I'm going to change this to 600 by 600. So more like a square because we're going to add thumbnails in our list, not more like a complete image. It's just going to show the thumbnails over there. I'm just going to paste it over here. Let's paste it this one and this one. Save this and let's get back to the browser. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so that kind of looks much better now, and we can actually customize this a little bit because as you can see the padding on the top is quite less when compared to the bottom, so we need to increase that one too. Let's get back to our CSS here. I can say there's a list group. I'm going to add as padding top. I'm going to add it as around 20 pixels. So see how that looks. Save that. Let's refresh. Okay, that adds some really good spacing. So now it looks pretty good. Okay, so now the only thing left us for us to do in this page is to create the sidebar. In the home page, we did manage to have a simple button which will launch the subscription thing. So here we're going to add a simple card which can have a simple subscription form over here that the people can easily subscribe. So if you get to the cards and if you scroll down a little bit, you can see that we have different color options which you can use inside the cards. So if we scroll down all the way down here, okay, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. This one looks pretty good with the yellow button as subscribe. That's going to look pretty good. So I'm going to use this one. So the only thing we have to do here in order to get this one is to specify BG primary. That's it. So card text white and BG primary, that would do the job. So let's get back to our code, and in the default you can see there's the space where we specified for the sidebar, and I'm going to add a card. So I'm going to call this as a side, and it's going to have a class called as card. Now if you remember that we need to specify the text and the BG primary, let's copy that one. Let's get back to our code and let's paste it over here, and we're going to add this BG primary here. Okay, and we need to have some kind of margin bottom that is MB3. Okay, so we have the card, and inside this we need a card body. That's going to be dev.card body, and inside that we're going to add a h4 tag with card heading. Okay, and let me check if it is card heading is what we need to add. It's card title. Okay, so we need to change this to card title, and I'm going to call this as subscribe for newsletters. Okay, save that, and in the paragraph I'm going to add card text. Let's call this as get latest updates and freebies. Okay, let's save this one, and what we're going to do now is we're going to add a simple form, and that form will have a div with MB3. Okay, input type is going to be email. I'm going to specify the class as form control. I'm going to copy the same name now. I'm going to call this as SM. Okay, and it's required, so people have to input the details. Okay, so let's add a placeholder. I'm going to call this as email ID, and we can add another one, say div.mb3, and here we'll say input type is submit, where the class is btn btnsm as btn warning. Okay, and we're going to give a value. I'm going to call this as subscribe now. Okay, save this. Let's see how that looks. If I get to my browser and hit refresh, you can see that we have subscribe for newsletters and the email ID. Okay, we need to make it full width, so I'm going to call this as btn block. Save that. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so we have this thing, and the next one we want the archive list. So we want to specify the archives for the block, like how many times how many days the posts have been posted and which year does which post have. So let's get back to our code, and right after the aside, I'm just going to copy this again, and actually I'm just going to create another one. I'm just going to use some spacing. Okay, and here we'll say aside dot list group. I'm going to call this as list group, and it's going to have a MB3 margin bottom 3, and inside this we're going to have a, actually this is going to be an unordered list, so it's going to be better as an unordered list. So I'm going to call this as UEL. Let's change this one to as UEL. Okay, and inside this we'll have an ALI with an anchor tag, and I'm going to call this as class as list group item, and this is the anchor tag, so I'm just going to give a hash. I'm going to call this as 2020. Okay, actually we're going to start from beginning, so 2020, 18, 2019 and 2020. So basically it's the posted years. So let's get back to our page and let's hit refresh, and you can see that we have the list. Okay, so we need a heading for this one, so let's get back over here. I'm going to add another one, say a line. I'm going to call this as list group item, and basically this one is going to be active. So we don't have an anchor tag for this. I'm going to call this as archives. Save that. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, that looks better. I'm going to create another one. I'm going to call that as recent posts. So I'm just going to copy this one and then paste it over here. And this one is going to be called as recent posts. Okay, and we can give some text over here. So I'm just going to add post 1. I just copied this, paste it over here, say post 2, and just copy this one, paste over here. I'm going to call this as post 3. Okay, so save this. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so we have the archives, we have the recent posts, and we can actually create kind of like a widget area, so where the user can add his own more details. But I think this should do most of the job. Okay, let's hit refresh again. Okay, that looks pretty good. So our default page is done. So let's see what we are supposed to do next. Next, we are supposed to create a comments page. So we did not create the post page and the static page yet. That's a normal page and a post page. So we need to create that first. So let's see how we can create a simple static page and a post page for our blog.